Hey YouTube, today I'm gonna do something a little different for once on my channel, whether it be on my YouTube channel or my Instagram really, and I'm gonna be doing my review for the recent season of Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy, and it was the new season called Kingdom on Netflix. And I'm a huge Transformers fan if you don't know, so I will admit in the beginning of the series, I wasn't sure what was going on because I never watched the Beast Wars Transformer show. I did try watching it years ago, but I just couldn't get into it. I don't know exactly why. I think it's because what's it called? I didn't like the animation. I just didn't really care for it. The animation was just weird. Like it was made in like I think 1999 or something, like really late 90s, early 2000s, and it was like the beginning of when people were starting to really use 3D animation, which was fine. But a lot of Transformers fans that I see, that it does start slow, it is a bit annoying. But if you just give it a chance, it's got really good stories, which I may watch maybe in the future and just have to deal with the animation. And I will say that this season was confusing at first, but then when I read a couple episodes, I mean not a couple episodes, a couple other reviews, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense, and it made the series slash this season better for me, and I really enjoyed it. As much as I don't know about the characters from Beast Wars like Optimus Primal, Megatron, Dinobot, I was like I still really liked them, and I knew a couple. I only know their names like Megatron, Optimus Primal, and Dinobot. That's really it. I think Cheetor, if I remember correctly. But that's all I knew. Remember that, and I could tell in the series they made references towards a show that I was like that made me think like it might be a reference towards the Beast Wars show, because like I said, I never watched that series. And when it comes to the to the build up to the end, I like the ending a lot too, because we see Unicron a bunch more. We see Galvatron. We see what's it called? We see Nemesis Prime, which I really liked. I'm a huge fan of Nemesis Prime because Optimus Prime is my favorite Transformers character. But knowing that there's an evil version of himself too, it makes me like it a lot more, because I like when there's stories of characters like that, especially great leaders and heroes like Optimus Prime. And I actually like this version of Nemesis Prime because it's a future version of himself that became evil, and I like that. I like that concept actually. And of course, there was the same concept of Megatron turning into Galvatron because of Unicron, which was obvious. Like you can't. It's when you don't do that, it's tough. That's why Age of Extinction was hated so much by a lot of Transformers fans, because Megatron became Galvatron because of the damn humans. And there were a couple moments in the show where I was like, oh man, like when Alita was dead, Jetfire was dead, and all the other Autobots that were on Cybertron when they were trying to get the Allspark back. And there are a couple moments too when the Beasts, the Predacons, and the Maximals were fighting, and I was like, this is cool. Like I do like the concept of Beast Wars, and I'm a huge fan of like the Dinobots, Predacons, Terracons, all those type of beast-like Transformers characters. And I've always liked that concept, from the G1 series to the Transformers Prime show to the live action, even when they brought in the Dinobots in Age of Extinction. And I will say that I wish Peter Cullen and Frank Welker voiced Optimus Prime and Megatron, and I've said that from the first season, from Siege to Earthrise to now even Kingdom. Don't get me wrong, they're the guys that are voicing them in this show. They're not doing it too bad of a job, but I've gotten so used to Peter Cullen and Frank Welker voicing those characters that it's like it's still weird to me, and it won't be the same like when Frank Welker and Peter Cullen will no longer officially voice those characters in the future. It'll be like weird because like Peter Cullen's voice as Optimus Prime is so unique. You can't. It's gonna be hard to replace him. Really, like it makes me not want to like watch another Transformers show or movie when he's gonna no longer voice Optimus Prime. I mean, I feel like they could replace Megatron because Frank Welker did not voice Megatron in Transformers 1, 2, and 3. Hugo Weaving did in the first one. I can't remember if he did the second or third one. And he did an amazing job, the guys that voiced Megatron. He voiced Megatron in 5, I know that, Frank Welker. And I do love that they had their G1 designs, and I'm glad that they kept that. It was really cool in one scene in, I think it was episode 4, when they are transformed, and I was like, could that be Omega Supreme? And when they said no, it's just Teletran 1, I was like, okay, that's better. I was expecting it to be not Omega Supreme, Metroplex. I was like, okay, I like that. I like that a lot. It was Teletran 1, not Metroplex. And I wish we did see Omega Supreme again, because like I'm gonna assume he died in the first season in Siege when he was fighting the Decepticons in that final episode. Because I did rewatch the first Siege and Earthrise just to kind of remind myself. It's what I always like to do whenever a new season of a show comes out and stuff. And movies too. And I do, and like I said, I do like that the Beast Wars, and I think I'm gonna one day watch it after watching the Maximals and Predacons go at it at some point and interacting with each other, etc. It makes me actually want to watch Beast Wars now, even though I said I don't want to watch. I couldn't watch it because of the animation. It makes me actually now want to watch it because of the characters and stuff, especially since Optimus Primal is going to show up in the next Transformers live action movie with Rise of the Beasts. And I do like the ending because that confirms we're going to get another season of the Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy, because Unicron is now here, and he's probably going to now show up in that next season, which will probably be the final season. And what I was confused about for the show is like the dark universe. When the character says, "I'm from the future, I'm from this future, I'm from that future," I'm thinking like, okay, what's going on? I'm like confused. And then when I read one review on Instagram, I forgot who it was. I wish I remember, because I would say his name right now. His Instagram. He's think of it as like the multiverse type concept, with when they were in the Death universe, I think that was called, if I remember correctly. I was like, when I read that, I was like, okay, that makes a lot more sense, because I haven't really read much comics, and I have not seen every show of Transformers, but I don't remember there being a multiverse type concept in any of the Transformers shows or comics or books or whatever. And after reading that, I was like, okay, now it made me more interested and like this season a lot more. Because at first I didn't really care. At first I wasn't like, I liked it, but I was still confused. I was like, what's going on? Like, I'm confused still. And then when I think of it as like the multiverse, I was like, okay, that makes a lot more sense, and it made me like this season a lot more. So yeah, and I do like, which I thought was funny, when the Predacon Megatron was like, I'm Megatron, and I take my name proudly, and G1 Megatron was like, change the name. he was so annoyed, which was funny and cool. And I saw it coming when Megatron turned on Galvatron at the end. I was like, okay, saw that coming. The one thing that really made me not upset, like cry upset, but I was like, man, I was disappointed, but it is what it is, was when we saw Alita 1, Jetfire, Chromia, and the other Autobots and Decepticons that remained on Cybertron. They are officially dead. And it was sad to see Alita 1 and Optimus Prime interact one more time in that final episode. And she said, "I've always loved you." And she even said Orion, which is Optimus Prime's first name before he became Optimus Prime because of the Matrix. And it was nice seeing Ultra Magnus as well standing next to her. That was nice. And it was sad to see Alita 1's body right there, and Optimus Prime was just sad about it. And I'm glad that Bumblebee talks in this show. I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting annoyed with the idea of Bumblebee just using a freaking voice box or beep boop like he did in Transformers Prime. Like when he finally got his voice box fixed at the end of Transformers Prime, and he spoke in the Transformers Prime movie and in the Transformers Robots in Disguise show, I was just so glad that they got rid of the him losing his voice box. Like it's so annoying, and it seems like they're gonna do that again in the Transformers Rise of the Beast show, and like I said, I am so done with that concept. It's not even funny anymore. Like it's annoying. Like just let him talk. He talked in the beginning of the Bumblebee show, and we all liked that. And then when he freaking lost his voice box in this movie, it got annoying again. Like, I mean, yeah, it was cool in a way because the Transformers Bumblebee movie is my favorite live action movie. But at the same time, like I said, it's annoying. It's getting annoying. It's repetitive. And it's time to end it. Especially since, in a way, this is a rebooted live action movie. And I'm glad that they decided to have Bumblebee actually talk in this show. So yeah, that's all I really got to say about the season. If I were to give my rating for this show, at first, before I read that first review about the multiverse concept, I was like, I'm gonna give this a 7 out of 10. But now after reading it, I'm like, okay, now I like it a lot more and it makes more sense. I gave this season an 8 out of 10 now. So yeah, my rating is 8 out of 10. Like I said, if I were to give you my rating for Siege and Earthrise, I would say Siege is 8 out of 10 and Earthrise is 8 out of 10 as well. Each season is 8 out of 10 for me. And I hope in the next season we see a lot of Unicron, and I'm just looking forward to seeing Unicron, because Unicron is just that big bad for the Transformers. So yeah, that's my review for this video. I appreciate if you watch this video. If you could do me a favor, give this video a like and or subscribe to my channel, and give me your thoughts in the comments of what you thought of the show if you watched it by any chance. So yeah, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.